So back in 2022, I think it was any end of 2022, uh 2023, I had to move from my childhood home. And I was lucky enough to move from my childhood home. I had to move to a new city that was 10 hours away. And this is the city I'm currently living in. And I'll always be grateful for that. But the point is I had to move into a new high school. And the high school was pretty good. I had a very peaceful high school experience. In both high schools, by the way, they were both great. But a core memory and something that I really enjoyed in both high schools was the fact that I didn't have too many friends. I didn't peak in high school. At least I'd like to believe I didn't. I don't think I didn't. I don't think I did. Sorry. I don't think I peaked, and I'm very grateful for that. I, had one girlfriend at the time. I dated one girl in both schools, in both my previous high school and the one I went to when I moved here. And so, people knew me, but I wasn't popular. I was quiet, and I just spent time with my girlfriend at the time. I didn't do any sports. I did do sports for like it was soccer. I did sports for like the first year and then just stopped. But the point of the story is because a core memory that I have in both high schools, especially the second one. No, 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 no. It was the first one. It was the first one. Was walking into the school with my headphones on and just listening to music. That was one of the highlights that I had of high school, and I really enjoyed that. Every morning it'll be a, you know, little windy of a morning, and I just wear my headphones and just listen to music. And I can recall a lot of albums that I can say really played over and over during that time. But and I thought about this morning, and I thought about how wonderful that time was and how I could go back. But really, I wasn't thinking how I go back to that time. I was thinking how can I recreate it. And that's when I realized in the moment you don't realize it's a memory that you'll cherish. You don't realize that you don't see into the future and think to yourself, I'll one day really miss this moment. I just I enjoyed the moment of having the headphones in my ears and jamming to really good music, but I didn't see the fact that in the future I would look back and think, damn, I really enjoyed that time. I really enjoyed that part of my day in the morning listening to music. Trust me, I would have done it way more. And I think most people, I think that's why I think regret is so painful, because the opposite end is so nice and you look back and you think this is so amazing. I wish I could go back. But think about the opposite end, like, damn, what if I did this? Why didn't I do this? And I think that's such a reminder that, use your time. But also the point of this video and the reason it's titled this, I'm not sure what I'm going to title it, but it's going to be around this topic. But the reason that you reminisce about the past is because you are scared of your future. And I don't think that's the case for a lot of situations, but and this could also be applied to the reason you're so reminiscent of the past is because you're not also enjoying your future, but I mean your present. But I think if you reframe that to I will look back at this present, then it will be the past, and I'll thank myself for, you know, hopefully you'll thank yourself for doing something right, but I'll thank myself for creating that experience for my future self to look back on. So the point of this is that you should enjoy life, and this is a blanket statement. It's very hard to you know say that to someone, but I think you should create moments in your life that you can look back on and not only be proud of, but really just enjoy that feeling either with yourself or with people you love, and really try to, I guess I wouldn't say recreate it, but try to think about the things that made that experience so great. So for me, it would be the fact that I had music, the fact that I was, walking alone. It was so peaceful. It was peaceful. I think that's the part that weighs on why the experience was so amazing. It was so peaceful. And I think most people, and I think I can speak for men, most men search for that feeling. Most men want peace. And I don't think you go searching for peace. I think you curate your life um, with all the things that bring you peace, and you just collect them together and you just put them in a bunch, and that's just how you live your life. I like a quote by Alex Hormozy. I think someone said this to him when he was having a great day, and he said, and that someone said to him, I think that's the key to a happy life, having uh joyful days repeatedly over and over. I think that's the key to happiness. And yeah, so if you're looking at your past and thinking that was an amazing past, I think a little part of you is afraid of the future. I think we're all anxious about the future, but I think it's also because you are not doing something in the present that future you can look back on and thank yourself for. And so do something that brings you peace, do something that brings you joy, live a life repeatedly over and over. Do something during the day that just gives you an immense amount of peace. Um, a few examples I can think of is just like going to the gym, going for a run. These bring you peace. They also make you healthier. They can massively change your life for the better. But I think there are a lot of personal experience that might be personal to you that might just bring you a whole lot more of peace than, just going to the gym. And this is why I bring up the um, morning school walk. It's because it is so much less than going to the gym, but it means so much more. It's a part of my life I will never get back. I'll never get piece of that piece of peace I had back then. And I think you should ask yourself what brings me peace or who brings me peace, and just bring more of that. What do I do throughout my day that brings me peace? And really be present in those moments, because they pass. One moment it's here and the next it's gone. So I think being more present in that moment is is way more important, because it'll pass really quick, and and future you will think back and think, man, like what can I really bring back to what can I do to bring back that feeling? And for this music thing of mine, I can easily play a song or an album. I think it was one album that I really played and I repeatedly played was Jackman by Jack Harlow. I played it over and over. I think it was in both high schools. I played it over and over. And when I played it recently, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I remember pressing play because you forget how the song goes, and you just, oh man, this brings me back to high school. And I think that's the beauty of music. It when you play it in such big or mundane moments in your life, mundane but peaceful moments in your life, you play it again in the future, you just think back on that point of your life and you're like, oh man, this this was this was really good. This was a really peaceful and nice point in my life. I think you can do the same with movies. You can watch a movie that doesn't even have to be a great movie. It just has to be a movie that you watched at a point of life that you can look back on and think that was a great point in life. And subconsciously, it'll also be a great movie because it is associated with that memory that you have from watching it in the past. And so, create more memories. The old people are right. Create more memories, live life, travel. I still need to travel. I've never thought I'd want, obviously, everybody wants to travel, but I've never thought, I've never thought of myself as someone who likes, backpack and a bunch of stuff, and that's it. My two legs. But now that I think about it, I think that would be cool. I think that would be fun. Um, Especially if I have music. So, yeah. And also, I think I've already said this, but the main thing I wanted to hit is really do things in the present that your future self would look back on and really be proud of and be happy you did. Do things that you'll be proud of in the future, sorry. That your future self will look back and be proud of. Do things that you'd be proud of. Do things with people that you'll be happy doing things with. Now, obviously, when talking about relationships, it's a whole different things. It's a whole different thing because relationships give you a bunch of lessons that you'd otherwise never learn. So, yeah, just gather a whole bunch of stuff that make your day uh a good day. Yeah. Gather a whole bunch of stuff that make a good day, because once you have all the things that make your life a good day, and you have those good days and you stack those good days over a week, over a couple weeks, over a couple months, over a couple of years, ultimately you have a good life. I think that's the secret to happiness in life, is having as many things that make possible, and just doing those things more. And so, yeah, and really having good memories, really putting in, create good memories, either by yourself or with other people, because those memories will leave fast. And I'm saying this as a 20-year-old. Um, those memories leave, and no matter how hard you try to recreate them, they will never come back. So do more stuff and enjoy them more. Be present, because it'll go. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really did enjoy it personally. So, um, if far, I don't usually say this, so this is my first time saying subscribe. If you want to, cool. If you don't, cool. But if you've made it this far, I'd like to believe you like hearing my voice, you like seeing my face, you like what I talk about. So be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. um, yeah, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Cheers.